Question 3 is the Equal Biggie Smart question. 12 marks, and it moves up a level of difficulty and really does contribute to ensuring the C grade if you do it well. Question 3 should take about 18 minutes to complete. The extra layer added is language features, basically techniques used by the writer to express ideas, and I need to remember to include the other parts. I must make a point, which needs to be linked to the question. I must include evidence, especially quotes, and then explain the effects of language use on the reader, showing my understanding of the significance of language use. My next point starts with a conjunction or a connective. The key question word is how, which demands that we write about the techniques used by the writer. Let's start with language features which have been repeated. Remember, we repeat things to emphasize their importance, so if it's repeated, it's probably important. The first thing I see repeated is the word I, twice in the first line and then later on as well. So what does this tell me? What technique has been used? Well, it tells me that source 3 is a personal account of when the writer was younger and looked forward to visiting a sweet shop with his hot father. So that's a point about the purpose of the piece. He uses the first person I voice often, so there you've talked about technique and you've got a quote, to emphasise the fact that this is an autobiography, there's the effect and the purpose, of a particular time in his life which was important to him. You should spend about 18 minutes on this question, and you need to do the above with at least 7 other language features, trying to link them if you can with connectives and by writing about similar ideas together. For example, I have written about the first person, but other pronouns and voices are used that I might now choose to write about. We'll do one more together to make sure we are all confident. On line 5, I have underlined sweets of vermilion and rose, saffron and lemon, and twists of amber and green. This is a list, but an unusual list. What makes this list unusual? What effect is the writer trying to create by using this list? Here's how I would write my mini paragraph. The writer also, which is a connective, uses lists, which is a technique, in his writing, which highlight the variety, that's the effect on the reader, of sweets in the shop. He describes the sweets of vermilion and rose, saffron and lemon, and twists of amber and green, there's your evidence, which is unusual as it uses sets of doubles, a technique again. This creates a rhythm, which is another technique, which again emphasises the variety of colour that can be seen in the huge jars. And there you've talked about the effect. Remember, if you see a technique, such as the listing we talked about here, being repeated, they are probably used for different purposes, so you can get double marks as long as you show you can see different purposes to each use of the technique. It's your turn now, so try and remember what you need to include and always have how long you've got for this question in mind. We've now got about 10 minutes to get at least 6 more mini paragraphs written.